Hi, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to complete the beginners series of videos. So over the last week or so, I've published 4 different videos, and all of the videos are aimed at people who haven't used Excel before, but now find themselves needing to use it. What I've done in those 4 videos, I've just gone through the absolute basics of using Excel. So, as I mentioned, designed for people who have never used Excel, don't know where to start. This video will give you what you need to get moving within Excel. Those videos focused on navigating around Excel. So in this 5th video of that series, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time going through some formulas that you will need to use in Excel. So let's get into it. So you can see on my screen, I've got little data. I've got a data set that I've copied across. It's pretty simple data. It's just individuals' names, their occupations, their salary, years of experience, and some addresses. So the first thing that I will do is I'd like to be able to see the headers. You can see in column A there that there's a description or a header on each of these categories of data. So I'd like to be able to see that. So in order to do that, I'm just going to go to View, and I'm going to select Freeze Pane, select Freeze Pane. And you'll notice there that as I scroll down the page, those headers are still visible to me. So if I just take that off just to show you what that looks like. So you see with it off, once I go slightly down the page, those headers disappear. So I'll put it back on, freeze pane. So there you go. So that's just helping me when I'm working with the data, because I do want to be able to see what those headers are. So the column that I'm interested in is salaries. So as I scroll down, I want to be able to see that that is salary still. The other thing that I tend to do, and this is just personal preference, you may like this, you may not like this, totally up to yourself. But if you go to the ribbon page layout, and under grid lines, if you just uncheck that box, view. So I'll just check it there again, just so you can see what I've done. So you can see here that there's a table format within this workbook. I tend to take it off, particularly if I've got some formatting on the cells that I'm working with. And you can see that I have formatting. I formatted it like a table. So get rid of that. I think it just looks a bit better. So the next thing I'm going to cover off 5 different formulas. These are really basic formulas, and if you've used Excel at all, you probably have come across these already, but this video is designed for someone who hasn't used Excel. So this will be of benefit to you if you've never used Excel before. So the first one I'm going to do is a sum formula, and that's basically just going to add up all of the data that I select within my range. So to start that formula, I type equals. And the first thing that you might notice is once I type equals, up in the formula bar here, I do have the option to click on insert function, and that will give me a whole category of functions that I can use within Excel, and it'll give me a template in how to use them. So I just want to call that out for people because it's really helpful. It's a very good guide, especially when you get started in Excel, but I'm not going to use it today. I have used it on a previous video, and if you do want to look at that, by all means, check out one of my other videos. But for the purposes of today, just want to highlight that it's there. So again, if I go equals, I'm going to type SUM. I'm going to open a bracket. And now what Excel is asking for is, okay, you're going to sum this. This is a sum formula. What data do you want to sum? So what I'll do is I'm going to use Control and up arrow. That'll bring me to the very top of my data set. And then I'm going to go Control, Shift, and down arrow, and that will bring me to the bottom of my data set. So you can see there that my sum is going from D2 to D43. And you can also see that it's highlighted there for me. So I refer to these as dancing ants, but you can see that it's highlighting all of the data that I want to select. Do take a moment, especially when you're new to Excel, to make sure that you're happy with that range that's been selected. That's where people often go wrong. They might select too much or too little. It is worth just pausing for a moment, checking that that's correct, because that will be really important if you're going to share this report with someone else, or it'll be really important if you're hoping to select a specific range of data. So just take the time, definitely worth it. Take a second, and then you know your data is correct. So now I'm going to close that bracket and hit return. And that's my sum. So it's as simple as that. Now, if I want to have a look at that formula again, I can press the F2 function. And if I press the F2 function, that just opens up the formula again for me. You can see now that my range is highlighted again. So that's just a handy thing to be aware of. So the next formula I'm going to use is the average formula. So again, equals average, open bracket, shift control up, close bracket, double check my data. That looks good. Okay, so that looks like it's giving me an average. I'm happy with that. That's great. The next one I'm going to do is count. So again, equals count, open bracket. So you can see here there's a bit of a pattern in Excel. If you want to launch a formula, it's always going to be equals. Type the formula, open bracket to indicate to Excel that you're going to select a range, close bracket to indicate to Excel that you've finished with your range, and then return. So now I've got some average count, and then I'm just going to multiply some figures now. So I'll go equals. I'm going to select the average number. I'm going to hit the multiply function. So the multiply function is on your number pad. It's along the very top. And then I'm going to select what I want to multiply by. I'm going to multiply by the count 42. And you can see that that multiply agrees back to the sum, which I kind of expected that it would because I took the average multiplied by the count. So that makes sense. I'm now going to just show you how to divide. So I'm going to go equals, select a number, put in the divide symbol. So the forward slash, that's divide in Excel. And then I'm going to select the count again, 42. So that brings me back to the average. And again, that's as expected. I've done these calculations this way on purpose, just so that you can see quite quickly and clearly that the formulas are working, that you understand them. There is another neat function within Excel that I'm just going to show to close out this video. So if I go Control Shift and up, that highlights all of the data that I want to select. And if you just notice on the bottom here, Excel is giving me back some information. So the first thing you'll notice is Excel is summing that range for me. The next thing, it's showing me the maximum number within that range, the minimum number, the count 42. We'll recognize 42 because we calculated that ourselves. It will also, so it's showing two things, numeric count of 42 and actual count of 43. So the difference being the header that I have because I've selected the header at the top. And then the average, and again, the average agrees back to our average. So that's a really helpful function within Excel. And particularly when you're getting started and you're not that familiar with formulas, or you're just a little bit nervous of what you're doing, that's going to be a really helpful check for you to just make sure that you've done everything correctly and that it's pulling through the data. So hopefully that's all of help. If it is, do give me a thumbs up. If you're interested in Excel, new to Excel, or want to hear what's happening within Excel, just subscribe to the channel. That's what this channel is all about. It's all about Excel. If you have a specific question in relation to Excel, you can type it in the comments. I do read the comments and I can pick it up and I can post a video in relation to the query that you have. If you have a specific query, always check the content. We've got lots of videos here, you'll see. We're publishing them all the time. So something might come up that you haven't seen before. So just keep having a look and making sure that you're following it. So as I say, hopefully that's helpful. Stay tuned. Another video will be here in the next day or two. Thank you.